Hey, this is Julian with Juleon Tech Reviews. Join me as I dive into the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold and see if I can uncover everything you need to know about this game-changing device. Welcome to my channel, and please like and subscribe this channel. We greatly appreciate it. We got a lot of people out there watching, but not a lot of people out there subscribing. So if you don't mind, please hit that subscribe button, that bell, that like button, and send your comments below. But let's get into it. In this video, we will be reviewing the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold, and we're going to explore its features, performance, and all the kit and caboodle. But we're going to answer two questions. Does it live up to the hype? This is the second iteration of this phone, and we're going to answer that question at the end of this video. And also, should you purchase it? Now, I'm not in it to anybody's pocket, but I think we'll make that answer more clear as we go through all of the detailed review as we have for you now. But as always with all my detailed reviews, let's go ahead and talk about the specs. So let's talk about when this launched. So this launched in August 13th, 2024. And it released in September this year of the 4th. However, I didn't receive mine until maybe the 6th. And it really should have came on the 4th, but UPS, blah, blah, blah. And the price of this unit is $1,700 and $1,799. $1,799. And this comes in two colors. This comes in Obsidian, which I have here, in the porcelain. And the iterations of RAM, it has 256 gigs of storage up to 512 gigs. And both sizes of storage come with 16 gigs of RAM. And this is a welcome change for Google. This is the first unit, one of the first units in this foldable lineup, as well as any foldable in the United States other than OnePlus that has 16 gigs of RAM. So it beats out Galaxy Z Fold and Samsung and the previous generation of the Fold. Let's talk about the body. So this phone, even though it's a foldable, weighs 257 grams. That's about 9 ounces. And the makeup of this is a Gorilla Glass Victus front and a plastic front unfolded. And then it has a glass back, which is also Gorilla Glass Victus 2 with an aluminum frame around it. And it has an IP8 water resistant, which means it still has the capability and it's still vulnerable for dust. So this is just water resistant, so I wouldn't submerge it in water or get it around any sand. And let's talk about the display. So the display, we're going to start with the front. This is a LTPO, or excuse me, LLED 120 hertz refresh rate, Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2, and it sports a 6.3 inch display, which has 1080 to 2424 pixels, or a 20:9 ratio with 422 ppi, and up to 1800 nits of peak brightness. And then let's open this up. This sports a display of 8 inches, and it has about an 89% screen to body ratio, or 1:1, with a 373 ppi density and up to 2700 nits of peak brightness. And let's talk about the platform. It has Android 14, and it includes 7 major updates. It has a Google Tensor G4 chip, which is pretty good for them. So it has the latest upgraded chip. And then the next thing we're going to talk about is the camera. So we have a triple camera setup on the back here in this bean shaped form. And it has a 48 megapixel wide angle camera, 10.8 megapixel telephoto, 10.5 megapixel ultra wide. And then it features multi-zone laser autofocus, LED flash, pixel shift, ultra HDR, panorama, best take, you name it, they have it. The video is 4K up to 60 frames per second. So no 8K on this one. And then let's go ahead and turn it around. So let's open it up. It does have a selfie camera in the corner here, which is a 10 megapixel selfie wide camera. And then if we close it, we have also a 10 megapixel wide camera here. And then the video capabilities is 4K up to 60 frames per second, as well as inside it has 4K at 60 frames per second for FPS. And then it has loudspeaker with stereo sound, so it has a speaker up top and a speaker at the bottom here. And it has features Bluetooth 5.3, GPS, NFC, USB Type-C. And then let's talk about features. So it features Google's AI platform in here with the fingerprinted side mounted, which is up top here. The power button's at the top, the volume rocker's on the bottom. So you're gonna have to get used to that if you're coming from a different phone. It has accelerometer, compass, barometer, ultra wideband support, satellite services. So if you're out there, fishing and you need to call somebody, you can do that. It has circle to search. And let's talk about the battery. The battery sports a 4600 milliamp battery. It has 21 watts wired charging, and it has 7.5 wireless charging. Now, don't believe this has any reverse wireless charging, but you don't want to be using that for this. So it has a nice beefy battery. You want to make sure you maintain all of the battery life. So that, lo and behold, is the specs for the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Now let's talk about design. So Google decided after the first generation foldable to increase the length of this phone and make it more of like a phone friendly, a bar candy style bar friendly phone and device. So the size of this phone will be similar to the Google Pixel 9 Pro, not 9 Pro XL. So it does compete with this 6.3 inch display here. So they have added size to this. And then when you open it up, it does have a nice 8 inch display. So it's comfortable in both sides of the coin here. So horizontal mode and vertical mode. It's almost kind of like a perfect square, because no matter what side you hold, you're still maintaining that shape. And then let's talk about all of the buttons that come with this in this design. So as in traditional format, Google does have their power button at the top, which is very awkward if you come from Samsung or anywhere else. And then the volume rocker here is on the bottom. And you do have the fingerprint sensor here. Then let's talk about the camera design. So last year model was, just a flat bar. This year they kind of chopped that up and made it into two little beans here, which is a very welcome sign because it makes it a lot more aesthetically pleasing, if I don't mention. Then let's talk about the hinge. So the hinge has been upgraded, so it's a little bit more tighter this year. And as you can see, I'm trying to open it, and if I put a little bit, some energy into it, it definitely holds up. So kudos to Google for updating the hinge, updating the size of this. And also, not to mention, you get 7 years of software updates, so that's pretty neat. And then also the screen transitions between what's folded and unfolded has been great. So you have to enable that option in your phone here. So once you go to your settings, you'll be able to transition between unfolded and folded and not lose anything. So it'll automatically optimize to your size and make everything look great. So design wise, and let's talk about the feel of this. So the feel of it is very nice. It does feel a little fragile when you're holding it, but they have made it to where the aluminum doesn't, it's not as heavy when you're holding it, and it's not much of a nuisance. However, if you put a case on it, you will have additional weight added to it. And another thing about the design, last year's model, you couldn't fully open it all the way where this was straight. Now Google has made this model more flat, and you can, enjoy a full screen with minimal creasage. Speaking of creasage, you can actually see the crease here. So let's go ahead and power this off. And you can see that it does have the crease there, but it's not a nuisance upon further testing. So please be assured that it will not get in the way. Otherwise, you can have a totally different phone. So it's almost 2 phones in one. So design and feel, kudos to Google. Good job. Let's move on to the next thing, which are Google features. So if you're new to Google, Google has their own specific features that come with each Google phone. So when I mention that, I mean, when you turn on the phone feature here, they do have their own voicemail system. So once you have downloaded this and put your SIM card in there, you're able to access their visual voicemail. And then they have a feature where you can screen calls. So if you don't know the person, you can, hit a button and then it will automatically send out a text message to that person and ask them, who are they? So, and it'll record a screenshot here, and it'll show in real time that person. And if that's a real person, you can pick up the phone and answer it. Along with that, if you call a business and use a 1-800 number, you can actually call the number, and when they put you on hold, Google has a feature where you can chime in and out. Let's say you don't want to have your phone to your ear. You can select an option where it'll show a transcript of the call, and it'll actually show the entire transcript, whether you use this feature or not, to show that, all the options. If they give you 10 options, they'll put in transcript that entire option. And then there's a button that you push while you're on the call that says hold, and it'll show in the background in the transcript that music is playing, and then it will alert you that the person is on the phone. So what a neat feature for Google. And also specific to Google, well, now specific to Samsung as well, the 7 years upgrade. I cannot stress enough how big this is for this phone. You're paying $1,800 for this phone. You definitely want to have some security and know that this phone will last, going on more than 2 years, as is before they decided to announce the 7 years of upgrade. So keep that in mind with these Google features. They come specifically with Google, and you will miss them if you start using the Google features and then go to another one. So there's that. So Google does have that capability in this nice foldable phone. The next thing we're going to talk about is the battery life. One of my pet peeves for the Google Pixel Fold was that it was no battery life whatsoever. And you can see, like, at any review of the Google Pixel Fold, how terrible it was because of the battery life. And that has a lot to do with the fact that they use a 2-year-old generation or a year-old Google Tensor chip, which was Google Tensor 2, and they put it in a foldable, which they knew we were going to use it for, a much, heavy, software or heavy app usage or heavy usage. So Google messed up last year, and I think it was kind of a rush launch when it comes to that because the battery life sucked and they had a bad chip in it. But they were still asking for $2,000, which sucked. So my trepidation going into this Google Pixel, the second generation of this foldable, was the battery life. And I'm here to report that this battery stands the test of time. I can get 2 solid days of this battery, and on its whole time, when it's just idle, it doesn't drain the battery. So the Google Pixel, the Google Tensor G4 chip is actually pretty good. And even with heavy usage, because I use this a lot, watching videos and whatnot, I take calls for the business or for work, and I get through this with no problem. And the charging, it doesn't charge up. It gets about, 50% in maybe 30 minutes, but it's not a huge charge up, but the battery is much improved. And through my testing, and I'm just all about that, I would upgrade a phone. If the only thing they change is the battery life, I will upgrade it because I'm looking for the best battery, and I'm trying to get up there with those Chinese phones, but that's just my opinion. So battery life, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. They have done it, so it is definitely worth it when it comes to the battery. All right, enough about that. Let's talk about the camera. So this is a triple camera setup. So it has a 48 megapixel wide angle camera, and everything else is about 12 or 10. And the front and back, I don't use the front or back I mean, I don't use the front cameras as much for selfies, but the selfies that I have or my wife has taken have been great. And it does include the traditional Google Pixel software. So this is DSLR-like when it comes to camera quality. And even though it's definitely muted whenever you take the pictures or video sometimes, you still get that quality Pixel software. And when I mean it's like a DSLR, like the one I'm filming on this, I mean that. So here is just a few pictures that I've taken with this camera, and let me know what you think in below. So this is the camera test. All right, so here's the portion of our video where we're going to show a few tests. We're going to do a video test, we're going to do a sound test, and we're going to do a gaming test. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the video test. Now, we're going to see in all different screens, in all different ways of how to view a video and what it looks like. So starting with the unfolded, this is what it looks like. So if you open this up, and I got queued up an 8K video here. So this is 21 by 60 p. So let's go ahead and take a look at that and let me know what you think. So a couple of ways unfolded. This is what it looks like. So I have my video queued up here. This is an 8K video. You can also zoom in to get the full screen, so you don't see any of the gray. And you can, this is 1.8 times zoomed in. So as you can see, you're getting a gorgeous viewing experience. And not only that, you can rotate that. And this is more of the horizontal look that you're looking for when you're showing your videos. But you can also, zoom in. And one thing it does when you have it on this mode, it blacks out this part at the bottom because the camera's there. So it kind of eliminates the camera, peering into your video when you're watching it, which is a neat feature. But, as you can see, this is some gorgeous 8K rendering, and your video, watching experience is great. So it does pass the test when it comes unfolded. Now, as I mentioned before, let's look at the transition. Okay, so the first thing we look at is just kind of like, let's see, if I go this way, the change. Okay. All right, so now we have it in the normal folded, mode. And this is the kind of quality you're getting. So you can get a full screen experience. But as I mentioned before, you see the camera pop out here when you see some white background. That was the horizontal mode unfolded, what it was trying to prevent. So as you can see, it does have the whole punch hole right there. And then also you can, view this, horizontally as normal. So you got your normal phone capabilities here, but it'll automatically, turn all different types of directions. And not only that, you can open up the phone. And if you're just sitting, somewhere, you can actually view it with the hinge open. So you kind of have like a little stand. So this is very, versatile when it comes to your viewing watching experience. And then let's say we open it up. So once you open it up, it automatically, let's see. Well, it starts you can go both ways. So you can read it like you're looking at a miniature computer, and then it has your controls here. And then you can flip it on this side, and you can do the same thing here. So when it comes to video, you get high quality HD video, and you get a plethora of options to view it. So in my opinion, the video test is A-OK. Okay, now we have the sound test. So I have a video queued up from YouTube, and we're going to see how these speakers perform when you have it open, closed. But you be the judge and comment below and let me know what you think. And as you can see, the sound quality is excellent. So you're not gonna have any downgrades when you're switching to one of Google's best phones, in my opinion. So just keep that in mind when you are purchasing that. You will get a quality sound experience. Next, we're going to talk about the gaming. So I know Google has been hit with a couple of allegations of bad gaming experience, and some of it is a little valid. The Google Tensor G4 chip has been a little stuttering. You know, even me, when I played my baseball game, when I normally play my games, it was a little bit stutterish when it comes to locating the circle on my batter's eye. And that was just on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL. So on the foldable, I thought I was going to go have those same issues, but lo and behold, I have no issues when it comes to that. And you're getting a quality gaming experience here. So one of the things I look at is how can I change the way that I can game, whether it be different angles or, I have a foldable, so I know it's flexible. Will I have any issues when I'm playing? So no. And one of the good things about this phone is that it automatically resizes and goes straight to full screen mode, which is amazing. So for instance, I'm throwing my pitch here, I'm getting no lag, I'm getting excellent, graphics, and the motion is very good, as you can see. And not only that, I can, rotate in the middle of the game, and I'm still having the horizontal, experience. Excellent features here. So I'll move on to that, and I got a full screen mode. But not only that, the transition is so impeccable. I'll close this up right here, and look at that transition. The apps are just automatically optimized. If I don't like it from that perspective, I can turn it around here. So, and let's see if I can, hit the ball from here. I mean, you can see that I have some good graphics here. And look at there, no problem. The 120 frames per second is definitely working here. So let's just take a look at here, see if I can get me a nice hit, and I did. And as you can see, there's, hardly any stuttering here. So Google Tensor G4 chip is excellent. Let's take a couple of cracks at here, see if I can get a score. Oh, I told you to run. Good. All right, let's open it back up. Look at that transition. No delays. All right. All right, so you got me a base hit there, about to score. So I'm not the heavy game user. I mean, I use this Baseball 9, and there are some other ones that are here, like Race. I do it sometimes, Hearts and Spades, but no disappointment when it comes to the guest gaming test, and it has passed the gaming qualifications for me. Comment below if you have any issues with that. I don't play any of those, NPC, whatever games, but for what I use it for, it is definitely worth it. Okay. And then lastly, let's go ahead and wrap this up, and let's see if we can answer the questions that we stated earlier in this video. Does it live up to the hype? And the answer is yes, a definitive yes. As I've shown you in the video, it has the specs, it has the design, it has the full length phone, it has all the Google features, no lacking in any department for the most part. Obviously, it can improve when it comes to better battery life or better video quality, and it can also have a way better charging capabilities other than the 21 watts charging, which is weird. And overall, this does live up to the hype. And then the next question we want to answer is, should you purchase it? Well, it depends. So if you're coming from any of the latest phones, like the Google Pixel 8 Pro, or you're coming from last year's Samsung Ultra, last year's Galaxy Z Fold, I'm gonna have to say no. But if you're coming from the Pixel Fold and you want to upgrade, you should. So it's a yes to that. You should yes to that. Now, if you're a consumer and you've never purchased a foldable phone, and you're curious about a foldable phone, there are a plethora of options. I think you should purchase this one first, because this one is the more fully fleshed out, bare bones, just natural foldable phones on the market. Samsung has, great software when it comes to their Galaxy Z Fold and their foldables. However, this is Pixel, which is the father of Android, and this is the most natural and the most organic version of Android you can have. I mean, the poppiness, the 120 hertz refresh rate. There are some shortcomings overall. I mean, maybe you're experiencing some gaming issue, but the father of Android, when it comes to the software, is here. And not only that, if you get this version, you get 7 years of software updates, which is bar none the best on the market. So that is, sure. And you use Gmail. It is seamless integration when it comes to all of your Gmail applications that you use. So you're not going to have any issues. Multitasking is, second to none when it comes to this. I mean, just look at the recents. I mean, look how everything flows beautifully. So I would advise, if it were me, to get this phone. If you want to purchase a foldable phone, this is the one to get. Well, thank you for joining me in Juleon Tech Reviews and this review of the Google Pixel 9 Pro Fold. Comment below if you have any questions or you have any comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. We really, really do appreciate it. We're getting closer and closer to monetization, and we definitely need your help and support. Thank you once again.